Hello everyone, welcome to this week's collective worship. Last term, in our time exploring the Bible, we looked at creation and covenant, and Exodus and the Promised Land. This term, we are moving on to look at the next section of the Bible, and we're going to explore and learn about judges and kings. Today, we are moving on to a new book in God's big story, the book of Joshua. And our story comes from the Storyteller Bible, and it's called The Walls Fall Down. The walls of Jericho went round and round, round and round the whole city. The walls were tall, the walls were thick. How could God's people ever get in? Joshua's thoughts went round and round, round and round inside his head. He was the leader of God's people, now that Moses was dead. But how could he lead them into Jericho? The sword of the Lord swung round and round, round and round the angel's head. God will lead you into Jericho, said the angel to Joshua. He has a secret plan. All you have to do is trust him. The soldiers of Israel gathered round and round their leader, Joshua. He told them the angel's plan. He didn't leave out one bit. The soldiers were amazed. So the army of Israel marched round and round, round and round the walls of Jericho, once round each day, 6 days in a row. And the people of Jericho laughed. Why are they marching round and round, round and round the walls of Jericho? Is this a parade? Is it some kind of trick? They'll never beat us this way. But when the army marched round and round and round and round on the 7th day, they marched round once, they marched round twice. They marched round Jericho 7 times. Then they raised their voices, they blew their trumpets, and the walls came crashing down. The people of Israel danced round and round, round and round the ruins of Jericho. God is our helper, they sang, and they shouted, He will never let us down. I wonder which part of the story you liked best. I wonder what part of the story is most important. I wonder who you turn to for advice when you don't know what to do. I wonder what it must have felt like watching the people of Israel walk round your city, not knowing what God was going to do. Let's make ourselves still now and join together with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for our learning about the story of Joshua today and how you helped Joshua in his time of need. Help us when we find things are difficult. Thank you for all the people who help us when things are difficult. Amen. And I'd like to finish with another version of that story. This one comes from the Rhyming Bible, and it's called Make the Wall Small. A tall wall, a thick wall, a never fall at all wall, but follow God's call, and you'll make the wall small. Jericho city was surrounded by a wall, built big and strong so it would never fall. But God told Joshua to go inside, Then he gave him a plan that was quite a surprise. A tall wall, a thick wall, a never fall at all wall. But follow God's call, and you'll make the wall small. March once round the city, 6 days in a row, the priests in front and the army in tow, the Ark of the Covenant leading the way, and ram-horn trumpets ready to play. A tall wall, a thick wall, a never fall at all wall, but follow God's call, and you'll make the wall small. On the 7th day, march round 7 times, blow 7 trumpets, loud and high. Then lift your voices, let your shouts ring round, and Jericho's wall will come tumbling down. A tall wall, a thick wall, a never fall at all wall, but follow God's call, and you'll make the wall small. So the people of God did what he asked, followed his instructions, completed the task, and much to their surprise, crazy as it sounds, Jericho's walls came tumbling down. Yes, Jericho's walls came tumbling down. A tall wall, a thick wall, a never fall at all wall, but follow God's call, and you'll make the wall small.